James has been offered a plea deal sent to him by his lawyer. Listen as he tells you about it.
So their offer is a total of 72 months of resolving DC and Virginia. With good time, I think that means 4.5 years more to serve. I think you should tell them you will sign the dotted line if they bring that down to 4 years in this case. 3.5 more to serve. He wants a deal. This is certainly better than worrying about 16 years when the likelihood of 5 years in this case is so high. And then I confirm to Virginia that our global plea offer will be plea to the single conspiracy count in our indictment, 60-month sentence max. Plea to probation violation in Virginia. Virginia will agree to a 1-year sentence, 16 years suspended, with all but 1 year suspended. So 12 months active, consecutive, for a period of 3 years post-incarceration. Thus, if he agrees, he won't get an additional 15 years of backup time in Virginia. This is a time-sensitive offer, and I would want to know whether your client intends to accept by this evening. If possible, if you need more time, I'm happy to extend, but I'd like to get an idea so I can prepare formal plea paperwork accordingly. Call me if you have any questions. That's from the prosecutor to my lawyer, y'all. I told them, no, I don't want that deal, man. Basically, it's a deal to 72 months. A plea to 72 months. That's what it is, man. I'm out here putting out posters, man. You know what I'm saying? Keeping a smile on my face, keeping everything copacetic, keeping everything, in a positive vibe and situation and the energy. It's all good, so,
That's the only plea that they gave you, or it was more to it?
Nah, that's the only plea they gave me. Another plea that they tried to offer me was cooperation. Cooperation plea. They told me they'd pull out the whole red carpet for me and give my family somewhere to live and give me some money and just basically get them a slam dunk on a conviction that they do want, which is, somebody that's allegedly convicted or allegedly arrested for the biggest heroin bust in DC history that they keep relating my case to. They want me to, cooperate with them and testify against that individual, which is Linwood Douglas Thorne. And,
What you tell them?
Nah, I'm good, man. I'm not with the cooperation situation, you know what I mean? That's just not me, never been me, never will be me. And I don't have anything to give them anyway at the end of the day, so, that's just how that goes, man, and that's just the ways that they, the tactics that the feds use, man. They want to get you to snitch on someone else or cooperate with them on someone else to give them a conviction rate of a better conviction rate of 97%. So, I'm against that in all ways, man. So, yeah, I told him no.
Recidivism is one of the most fundamental concepts in criminal justice that needs to be addressed first and foremost. Like James said, the numbers are just crazy. Recidivism rates in private prisons are between 16.7% and 22% higher when compared to public prisons. Poor conditions in the billion-dollar industry of private prisons is a major racket that deserves a closer look.
That's something that is statistically, we lost on that level, man, as far as recidivism. We had an all-time high of recidivism. You know what I'm saying? And that comes, I believe, a part of, like myself, I didn't even know what recidivism means. So maybe if they was teaching me about what recidivism was about while I was in there and what to stop me from coming back in there doing and giving me some type of options to do other things, whereas though that I will be really interested in, you know what I'm saying? Instead of forcing me to anything that I might not want to do, but they tell me, look, you got to do this. Like the reentry thing, like some people just don't want to do reentry. You know what I'm saying? They might want to do some type of entrepreneurship classes or something.
Many believe that the police are part of a larger oppressive racist criminal justice system that is only interested in arresting young black men. The zero-tolerance attitude of many police departments is inconsistent with the view of the re-entry process, which are affecting our communities in a real bad way. These for-profit prisons encourage extended confinement, less security, healthcare cuts, and a lack of transparency. For-profit prisons rely upon incarceration to generate their revenue. So why would they want to provide rehabilitative programs to reduce recidivism?
By me knowing what recidivism is now, by me being out now and knowing what it is about, getting more knowledge of recidivism while you're in there, I think that would help. I think that would help extremely. I couldn't believe the statistics. I couldn't believe it was at like 80% of us gonna come back. I just couldn't believe that number. I felt like I was part of the 80%. Like, damn, that's me. I guess I'm gonna have to come back to this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because some people, you know what I mean, they go back for the craziest things, and I was one of those guys that was eligible to come back with some crazy shit because I had so many years over my head. So that means any slip up, they could violate me, and I'm right back to where I started. You know what I'm saying? They could even come from a jaywalking charge. You know what I'm saying? Violation probation. You're going back. We're giving you 2 years on this tech. You know what I'm saying? A tech means you got something on you violation, but it might be a minor violation, but we need 2 years out of you for that.
So when did you make up your mind, and when did you decide that you weren't going to be one of that 87% that it is, or 80 whatever percent it is, part of the recidivism? What made you decide that, and when did you decide that I'm not going to be that statistic?
I decided while I was doing my bid. While I was locked up, and I saw how I was treated, man, after all the things I've done, all the money I made from selling drugs, and all the stuff that I did in my life. And now I'm sitting here with none of that claim or fame or none of that stuff no more. And I'm doing this time by myself and my family being affected by it. That made me say, man, I ain't with that right now, man. That ain't what I'm on. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole time I was saying while I was in there. You know what I'm saying? Any dudes, usually, this the thing too. Usually the guys that participate in any type of criminal activity while they're in there, 9 times out of 10 will come home doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So by me not drinking no hooch, not smoking no weed, no K2, no type of drugs, that helped me not be on that when I came home. Because that just wasn't what I did.
You made a change before you even got out.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I understood that, I made a mistake. And by me making a mistake, that I had to deal with it, and these are the consequences that come with it. And those consequences that came with it, you know what I'm saying? I knew I had to deal with, but I wasn't with accepting that this just gonna be me forever. Because now, since I'm a felon, I'm a convicted felon, now I just gotta live this prison life and have this prison mentality forever.
As soon as you get locked up, you are on the plea bargain clock. They play on your need to get out. They ask you what happened. But if you're innocent, you don't know what happened. So you can go to trial with 97% chance of going to jail or accept the plea. Majority will accept the plea deal. Those that were later exonerated from manslaughter to drug crimes all pled guilty. James has not been happy with the representation that he's been getting from his public defender. So he is thinking about making a change and seeking out his own counsel.
It's a beautiful day, man. Today I actually fired, or at least put a bug in his ear and let him know that it's time for him to withdraw from my case, which is the court-appointed lawyer, pro bono lawyer that they gave me since my case started. I'm going to speak this out and let y'all know what I said to him. Dear Mr. P, I reached a point where I'm making a decision to terminate attorney-client communications for the following reasons. You have seemed to undermine any trust and confidence that I could have in your representation of me. I get the impression that you are pursuing what's best for the government by urging me to cooperate with the government. That just don't sit right with me. I simply can't proceed further with you as counsel. I can't trust you, nor do I have confidence in your skills to provide adequate legal representation amongst other things that I factored into my decision making to end attorney-client communications. I'm requesting that you remove yourself from this case so that I can seek new counsel. In the event I find that you were selling me out to the government which is what I suspect you were doing, I will be filing a complaint to bar counsel against you. You and I have nothing further to discuss beyond this point. Please remove yourself ASAP. Thank you. Send that to the lawyer today, man. I feel like he ain't in my best interest. And you know, actions is way bigger than words. And I had to make a statement today with that to let them know how I really feel. So I ask all you all, whoever out there fighting their cases, man, got a lawyer that they really don't feel and their gut feeling tell them they ain't on their side, get rid of their ass, man. That's simple, man. Sometimes the enemy can be close, so you got to make sure you're aware of that. So we're going to go with that. We're about to start a new council. Reach out, I would say, committee or whatever we want to call it. We reaching out, we trying to recruit a new council, and we're gonna go from there, man. Hopefully the next council of a lawyer is somebody that understands why we fighting for what we fighting for my innocence, and allow, you know, me to be able to have a fair trial. That's important, man. A lot of guys and females, you know, they hear all these numbers. And they take these plea agreements where when you lose all your appeal rights, and you know, it's just a sad thing, man. They be innocent, but you know, they hear all these numbers that they be throwing at them. So yeah, man, that's what it is, man. See y'all next time, and yeah, mark this day, mark my word. We gonna get through it all, man. We gonna get through it all, man. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Incarcerated lives matter. Now. Come on and follow the journey. There's definitely one behind the scenes that people don't see.
Have mercy on me. On me, oh Lord. On me, oh Lord. Have mercy on me. On me, oh Lord. On me, oh Lord.
Another day with James. This morning we headed to the bank so he can get a cashier's check to be able to pay the rent for the hallway house.
How you doing, Miss Lady? I'm alright. It ain't no millions this time. This time I'm gonna cut it down to 1,000. Yeah. Okay. What's up, world? Hey, y'all see we down here paying this hallway house rent. You know what I'm saying? $33.40, man. Every month. Hey, look, we need funding, man. But y'all know at the end of the day, we're gonna make it happen regardless, if the funding come or not. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just showing y'all, man, this is what we do. Is our day-to-day action, our month-to-month action, I would say. You know what I'm saying? And how we do it. Take this mask off, man, so y'all can see me more firmly. But yeah, man, this is a cashier's check right here. $3,340 a month to make sure these guys and women come home to a whole opportunity at our hallway house. If y'all got some funding, or if y'all got some people that want to donate, because we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, man, let us know, man. This is real, man. You know what I'm saying? We paying this out of our pocket. You hear me? So at the end of the day, understand this, that we're going to do it regardless. However, though, we'll take the help. We'll take the help. We ain't shy from asking for help. So, yeah, man, I'm gone. Till next time. Appreciate y'all.
James was invited to the rally for Trayon White. He's running for mayor of D.C. We with Trey.
2, 3. Who's DC? LBC! Who's DC? LBC!
How y'all doing, man? This is great brothers right here. Ceasefire, don't smoke the brothers and sisters. Somebody I look up to, man. It's an honor to know this guy. Always been an honor. Allow him to tell y'all more than what I can, man. It's an honor to be right here beside him.
I can't attest to the last piece that you just said, that I know more than he knows, right? But he's a hell of a brother. I'm so proud of him, what he's doing, man. You feel me? And come out here under a lot of cool. and still made it happen for himself. So this is a conscious, alert black man that's willing to give his life up to liberate his people. I ain't gonna say too much more. No need to. That should be enough right there. All I want to say is this: stop this black on black killing and this brown on black killing, because we're not one another's enemy. The cracker is playing us to kill us off this planet, man. And he using us. See, they took off the white robe uniform, right? And they putting on judges' uniform, putting on police uniform, law enforcement uniform, correctional guards uniform, and everything else, and playing us and putting us out there and making us think that we one another's enemy. And we out here trying to get $1. Can't get no money. They gonna get money with all this killing going on. Can't do it, man. Peace and love.
I'ma stand on all 10, stand with my head high, fist planted in the air. You're about to understand why I'm never going back down. You can see it in my eye. I'm fed up with these damn games you play. Man, I'm about to bring it straight to your chest. Best believe compressions on your chest. You gon' need help to breathe. I hope that you bring extra heat, cause you gon' mean your defeat. Let's take.
We have legislators from the Maryland General Assembly on the line with us. As part of your closing remarks, could you just maybe share any recommendations you would have for legislators and things that they should consider as they go to Annapolis this January to put into legislation to help advance reentry and in the state of Maryland, right, to help returning citizens. The way it seems you've come up with a formula. So I'm looking for recommendations for our legislators, what they might want to consider as they move into the legislative session.
Yes, I would tell them to piggyback off what I present and look at my introduction, because it does work, and allow, because I believe there's no halfway houses in the state of Maryland. Am I correct? I think it's none at all. I think they send them straight to shelters and things like that when they get released.
We have one transition facility in Prince George's County. It's a 10-bed facility, Damascus House. Just started last July.
Yes, they definitely need to have a lot more of those transitional homes or those halfway houses type of aura of places. However, they need to really, and I'm open to it, look at my introduction to what we provide in our whole way house and kind of piggyback off that, because I believe that the solution is not just what state it is at. The solution is to do what we're doing in all states, because it will work in every state, because it's working for us. And we've been open for 4 months now, and our guys is moving at a tremendous pace of stopping recidivism and being an example of, people coming home from being incarcerated.
It was April 30th, 2020, when Hope Village, the last standing halfway house in the D.C. area, was shut down.
Hope Village has been around since 1978, and according to the Bureau of Prisons, in less than 3 weeks, it will close its doors. An attorney representing the men who live there say many of the 200 residents are eligible for home confinement, and he feels that's where they should be in order to protect themselves and the community.
If they take away the halfway house, they're going to take away a lot of families' chances to better themselves. Now, some people say, oh, I don't want you in my neighborhood. But the person in your neighborhood now could do better if they had their daddy.
Outside Hope Village's 31 men loaded up on charter buses to Baltimore. The men were leaving the halfway house in Southeast. The facility is set to close in a matter of days, but with no home of their own, these men were being sent to another halfway house 42 miles away. In the meantime, the protests continue. Residents outside the near-empty facility today still putting pressure on the BOP and Hope Village. But come Thursday, the doors will close for good on the controversial facility. And the question remains, what happens next? And I asked the BOP just that. What happens next? When will the men in Baltimore come back to D.C.? And what happens to the men leaving prison if there is no halfway house in city limits? A BOP spokesperson could not answer those questions, only reiterating, quote, the BOP continues to explore options to provide services following April 30th.
A lot of lip service was given to how they was going to replace Hope Village and how they had a place over here and over there, but still no place to this day.
This is the site of the old D.C. Eagle nightclub. The Federal Bureau of Prisons says it's found a contractor who will turn this site into a new transition home for thousands of convicted felons in the district as they come back to the district. There isn't one right now, so that solves a problem, but community leaders say it creates a whole lot more.
Gone are the days when Mayor Marion Berry would stand up for the uncounted.
Mr. Chairman, how do you explain the fact that Mr. Graham is the only white member of the council supporting this bill?
Just seconds after a vote on a bill to help those with criminal records easily gain employment and housing, the discussion in the city council chambers turned testy, with Marion Berry all but calling half his colleagues racist.
If you don't tell me it's along racial lines, then you must not be able to count, which you can. And that's BS.
As Berry's bill was voted down, tensions rose as the Ward 8 councilman promised to, quote, continue on the warpath against anyone that opposes this bill. Tonight,
I'm not sure if many realize the role that gentrification played in all of this.
A lot of people sometimes think of gentrification as this process where the artists show up into a neighborhood and then the hip coffee shops show up into the neighborhood. But it's not really like that. It is a deliberate process by developers to extract money out of the neighborhoods, facilitated by the government. People should realize how it really works and that it's not just this kind of process that just happens, right? Because these new businesses or this new, artsy folks move into the city. It doesn't happen like that. It is deliberate.
Ron Moten, a community leader in Ward 8, site of the former Hope Village, says halfway houses have historically pitted some wards of D.C. against others and against returning citizens.
No matter what community this goes into, you're going to have a few people who are going to say, not in my backyard. But in this day and time, when we say Black Lives Matter, the not in my backyard syndrome has to leave.
There was another fight going on in D.C. at the time due to gentrification.
What? They trying to mute what?
Gentrifiers moved in, they trying to cut my music off.
We just went through this 10 years ago with Club 1919, and now they trying to close down all the black establishments, including DC Soul Food, man, at the Marineburgs, man. Me and Nat about to meet up with you, man. We gonna get this petition going, and we gonna shut them down.
Come holler at me, brother.
All right, I'm on my way, bro.
This is it. Gentrification is cultural genocide.
Don't Mute DC was the campaign slogan at the time to fight those that were newcomers to the city trying to end the go-go music that was homegrown to DC. Well, the Don't Mute DC protest took on more than just the go-go music. They also took on what was going on at Hope Village, and they were fighting for the returning citizens to have a halfway house in the city.
A lot of my students' parents is in them halfway houses, and they tell me how they miss their parent and how it's convenient for them to be able to go to them places. We try to make sure that things that push us out, things that don't give us a second chance, are eliminated.
Just over a year after Hope Village was shut down, James Hutchings opened the world's first whole-way house. Something more than a halfway house, because they don't do nothing halfway. Obviously, there was a political decision that was made that there will be no more halfway houses in D.C. So James coming along and providing not just a halfway house, but a whole-way house, I'm sure that ruffled some feathers. Now, the 2016 report by the Nonpartisan Council for Court Excellence found that men who violated the halfway house rules were being sent to Piedmont Regional Jail in Virginia, which is 174 miles from D.C., and then later on they would be found guilty at the Hope Village hearings, which they were not even there for. Hope Village was also criticized by many for its effectiveness at doing the job that the Bureau of Prisons had even assigned them to do, providing unemployment counseling, job placement, financial management assistance, and other programs and services. Now, these are all the programs that James provides at his whole-way house. To understand why the future of DC's halfway house is in the hands of the federal government, You have to go back to 1997 when Congress passed the National Capital Revitalization and Self-Government Improvement Act, which gave control of DC's criminal justice system over to the federal government.
Sad, man. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me start like this. Straight from the overnight shift to a 2:30 transportation contract we got with my transportation company. And then now to the barbershop. Then to my son football practice. No. Then we gotta go pick up a client, gotta take her to Baltimore. Then we gotta pick my son up for practice. And then tomorrow morning we gotta go right back to DC Sport. Take the same soccer team to a game in the morning. Then I gotta be at my son football game. Man, I don't know, man. It's just so much, man. Y'all see what it is, man. The documentary is real. All this is being done. GPS on my name.
James had a busy week, but not just from work, but also dealing with changing lawyers. The judge unconstitutionally denied James his right to change legal counsel, stating that he was trying to manipulate her courtroom. She even stated confidently that she did not believe he would be able to get a lawyer to represent him. But James had every right within the law to replace his public defender if he lost faith or confidence in him to represent him effectively. Under Supreme Court case law, the Sixth Amendment right to counsel specifically requires that each and every adult who cannot afford to hire a lawyer at prevailing compensation rates in his jurisdiction must be given a qualified and trained lawyer. So basically, the public defender is for those who cannot afford an outside lawyer or a private lawyer.
They try to unconstitutionally, man, look, I raised all the money. I raised up $25,000 for $40,000 loan. The judge denied my motions to withdraw my counsel that they appointed me to hire my new counsel. She said I'm trying to manipulate her courtroom. Hey, man. So I'm going through appeals right now. And I just got a text from the public defender's office. And they want me to come in court Monday to speak on this situation.
Some of these obstacles that James is dealing with, and many others like him, male or female, is just a trickle-down effect of the prison industrial complex.
What we now call the prison industrial complex. And as you probably know, 1 out of every 100 adults in the U.S. is behind bars. 1 out of every 31 adults in the United States of America is in some way under the control of the criminal justice system. And this certainly is a legacy of slavery.